The time someone cheated off me in college. True story. My first class in college was Intro to Linguistics, basically the study of language structure. And I was sitting in the front by the door, one, to be in the front of the class and have the teacher know my face, and two, to make a quick exit in case someone got crazy. Anyway, after 3 weeks, I noticed this guy, let's call him Troy. Troy comes in late about 100% of the time and does that awkward look around the class for a seat. You know when you're late and you do that thing? That's Troy. I go about my business and hear whispering. I turn around and see it was Troy asking a girl for notes. I could tell it was notes because the girl he asked looked at her book and was like, nope, you just came in late and you're gonna ask me for some notes? Class ends and I walk to my car and notice Troy walking on the baseball field. So I'm like, okay, an athlete in my class. Good to know, I guess. 2 weeks later, test time. Everyone's at the class and shows up early, even Troy. Teacher walks by and opens the door and lets us walk in. For some reason, I sit in the middle of class, but on the opposite side of the door. People fill in, and the last person to take a seat is Troy. And guess where he sits? Right beside me. Test starts. We have an hour and a half, and I'm taking my time, focusing on the task at hand. I get halfway done and notice Troy is literally copying off my paper. You know when someone's cheating off you, when they look around, take a peek, and write? That's what he was doing. Now, in this point, I'm nervous because I start thinking, if this dude has the exact same answers as me, how will the teacher know who was cheating? Or she may think I was cheating. So, you know me, I still hunch over and try to cover my paper to the best of my ability. And this guy must have had x-ray vision donated from Superman himself because he was still able to see. Regardless of all that, it didn't help. Rest of the test goes like that, and I turn in my paper. I was going to approach him after the test and let him know, don't you ever cheat off of me. That was a Friday movie reference, by the way. Because my next class is right after that, I went to class and made it a point to talk to him the very next class. 2 days later, before class, I try and find him, but realize Troy comes to class late 100% of the time. Class starts and Troy comes in late. He doesn't look at me at all, like avoiding me. At the end of class, I find him and say, yo, I knew you were looking at my paper. Don't do it again. If you need help, I can hook you up with some resources, but don't cheat off of me again. He tried to play dumb and was like, nah, man, you know what I mean? I ain't do nothing. I was just looking out the window and birds and stuff. I said, whatever the reason was, just don't do it again. He said, all right, cool. Walked off. Next week, Troy is sitting next to me. Class goes by, and at the end of class, the professor passes back the exam. Now, I'm sweating bullets, but I get a B. And I look over and see Troy has a note on the top of his paper. I'm like, oh, snap. The professor and him start talking as everyone leaves, and it looks like he's literally holding back tears. You know that? I didn't see him for months after that. Mind you, we've had several quizzes and exams since then. At the end of class, I see Troy waiting for something. I come out and he says, hey man, there was a test we took a while back. Do you have it so my student lawyer can compare exams? For some reason, it seemed like time slowed down and I had two options. Either help him out by giving my exam for evidence and for him to be back in class, or be like, you reap what you sow. So me being understanding, I said no, and I walked off, stage left. Cheating is the worst thing you can do in college. Because if you're caught cheating, you get an XF. An XF is an automatic F in the class and an X for expulsion. And it stays on your record. So when you do apply for another school, they see that you were kicked out because you were cheating. Not a good look. See you later. I'm out. And remember, know the answers before the test. Later.